The 2024 All-Star NASCAR race was an eventful event for Kyle Busch. During the race, he had an incident with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. that led to a scuffle after the race. While Stenhouse did throw the first punch, Busch didn't hold back. As the race started in North Wilkesboro, Busch was looking to make some places off the start. He attempted to go a bit wide out of the opening corner to get more momentum. However, this opened the door for Stenhouse Jr. in the middle. As Ricky overtook Busch, the two cars banged doors a couple of times. This squeezed Busch into the wall. The number 8 driver was visibly unhappy after this incident. He went on to take matters into his own hands and rear-end Stenhouse after the second corner. This sent the number 47 car into the wall and out of the race. Despite severe damage to his car, he was able to make it to the pit road. But instead of parking the car in his spot, he decided to make a statement by parking it in Kyle Busch's spot. He then got out and made his way to Busch's crew chief, Randall Burnett, to exchange a couple of words. Although what he said was not recorded, the media were able to ask him about it later on. "I parked it there because I figured Kyle would do something similar," Stenhouse told reporters after his day ended. "I told Randall that you can tell Kyle that I'll see him afterward over the radio. Since there's no tunnel here, I can't leave, so I'll be here when the race is over." And as the race got over, Stenhouse was exactly where he said he would be, waiting outside Kyle Busch's hauler. Kyle, on the other hand, was able to complete the race in 10th place and arrived at his hauler where he found Stenhouse waiting. The two drivers went toe-to-toe as they exchanged some words. Although we couldn't hear much of what was said due to the fireworks in the background celebrating Joey Logano's race win, we were able to make out Ricky saying, "You hit the fence yourself. I didn't touch you. You hit the fence and then you hit me." As they continued to argue, Busch refused to take any responsibility for the incident. This triggered Stenhouse to say, "Go back and watch it," referring to the footage of the accident. Ricky then threw the first punch. Stenhouse gave a right hook and pushed Busch to the floor, but this did not hold Busch down. He got straight back and went to hit him, but was held back by his engineers. However, as Busch was getting back up, Ricky's dad went over to throw a couple of punches himself. Although Busch was not able to punch Ricky, he settled for his dad. Busch threw a few punches at Stenhouse Sr., who was throwing a set of punches for his son. We could hear Stenhouse Jr. calling out his dad, who had already run towards Busch, to land a few punches. Stenhouse Jr. was heard asking, "Did he hit my dad?" After a couple of seconds, the mechanics stepped in and pulled their respective drivers away from the scene. This entertaining fight happened as Joey Logano was giving his interview after winning the All-Star race in North Wilkesboro. Just as the interview was concluded, the interviewer announced the fight between Busch and Stenhouse. The crowd roared to cheer them on. But here's what Busch had to say about the incident after the race. "It's the first lap of the race. We don't even have water temp in the car yet, and we're wrecking each other off of turn 2. Busch said, "I'm tired of getting run over by everybody. But that's what everybody does. Everybody runs over everybody to pass everybody." Busch felt that it was unnecessary for Stenhouse to make that attempt in the first couple of corners of the race. Both the drivers were starting in decent positions, allowing them a chance to fight among the leaders. But this opportunity for Stenhouse was gone as he crashed out. Busch, on the other hand, was struggling with the damage from running into the wall after getting squeezed by Stenhouse. Stenhouse had his own views on the incident. Just after the scuffle with Busch, he went to talk to the media for the second time. "I feel like Kyle and I have always raced each other really hard back to the nationwide series, when we were competing for wins week in and week out," Stenhouse explained. "Never had any issues, then, I wrecked him one time at Daytona, and he's been kinda bad-mouthing me ever since then. I feel like we get along with each other okay outside of the racetrack. I talked to him quite a bit. I'm not sure why he was so mad. I shoved it 3 wide, but he hit the fence and kind of came off the wall and ran into me. I don't know, when I was talking to him, he kept saying that I wrecked him. So definitely built up frustration with how he runs his mouth all the time about myself. But I know he's frustrated because he doesn't run as well as he used to. I understand that. We're a single-car team over here. We're working really hard to go out and get better each and every weekend." Stenhouse felt that Busch did not have to fight back as he did during the race. At the end of the day, Busch made a mistake and opened up a gap in the middle of the track. Stenhouse took advantage of that gap to climb up the order. Busch didn't need to come after him and take him out of the race. But after the race, it is clear that Stenhouse threw the first punch. He got triggered when Busch was not willing to take any responsibility for the incident. Stenhouse's team, JTG Daughtry Racing, has only one charter on the grid. Apart from Stenhouse Jr., there are no other drivers out there for the team. Richard Childress Racing, on the other hand, has both Busch and Austin Dillon. Hence, JTG Daughtry Racing had more to lose than RCR. However, Dillon was not racing in the All-Star event as he was not qualified for it. Stenhouse continued to talk about the hopes he had for his race to justify his frustrations. "You know, we had a really good game plan coming in. Our car was really strong. Friday in practice, I was looking forward to running to the front. I think we'd pass a couple of cars there. I was excited for the rest of the night and he ruined it. Being stuck in here definitely doesn't help the frustration. If there was a tunnel, I'd have probably been at home watching the end of that. So here we are." As far as what's next, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is happy with the fight. "I don't have anything else for him. If we want to do a charity match, I would do that. Raise some money maybe for the NASCAR Foundation or something. That'd be fun. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot for him." As tensions flared with Busch and Stenhouse from the start of the race, Joey Logano went on to drive a dominant race. This marked his first race win of the year and Ford's second win of the year. However, this race win doesn't mean that Logano will be qualified for the playoffs, as the All-Star race is not a part of the regular season. But Logano will take this result on a positive note, as the Ford is finally starting to look quick after weeks of struggle. Coming back to the fight between Busch and Stenhouse, there's no doubt that the number 8 car overreacted by taking the number 47 out of the race. Another slight door bang to vent his frustrations would have made sense, but Busch decided to completely ruin his chances in the race by taking him out. Some fans expected NASCAR to hand out some fines for the fight after the race, but instead, NASCAR went on to promote the fight on their social media page. It's no secret that NASCAR will do almost anything to generate more revenue. Hence, holding a fight night between these two drivers, as Stenhouse suggested, might not be a bad idea. But on a more serious note, NASCAR should revise the regulations to allow them to hand out fines for incidents such as this. But to be fair, the viewers love watching these scuffles after or during the race. So far, there have not been any fines for either of the drivers. But let's wait and see if NASCAR does hand out a few before the next race in Charlotte. What was a bit surprising about the fight was the fact that Busch threw a few punches at Stenhouse's father. But in his defense, Stenhouse Sr. did land a few punches first. So far, Busch is yet to win a race. We are currently at the halfway mark of the regular season. This means Busch will be under tremendous pressure to win a race. If he does not do so, it will possibly be the worst season of his career. This could be bad news for RCR, as they just extended his contract for the 2025 season. There's no doubt that Busch is currently struggling with the next-gen cars that were introduced in 2022. So he and the team will have to make some changes before this season ends, if they wish to get that race win. If he's not able to do so, RCR could be taking a closer look at the contract to see if they can replace Busch for 2025. Even Stenhouse Jr. has not been able to qualify for the playoffs so far, so both of these drivers will be looking to improve in the second half of the season. We could also expect a few more scuffles and on-track battles between these two drivers in the coming races. Next weekend, the drivers will be headed to Charlotte to start the second half of the season. There's a good chance that things between Kyle Busch and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. would still be heated then. So we could see them going at it on the track once again in the next race. But let's not forget that both these drivers are still looking to win a race this season to secure that playoff spot. Who do you think was at fault for the incident on the very first lap of the race? Also, do you think either of these drivers will be able to qualify for the playoffs this season? Post your thoughts in the comment section below.